This material is protected under Fair Use Law, Section 107. False DMCA claims are a crime. Don't forget about Exodus 20:16. Ancient proverb. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. This video is a general rebuttal to people who call themselves literalists and use the Christian Bible, namely the book of Genesis, to promote a creationist worldview. If you treat Genesis and other early Hebrew books in this multicultural anthology as metaphor, this isn't directed at you.
Paraphrasing for expediency. The Bible, Book of Genesis, most everyone knows the story. 600-year-old man builds a boat, gets two of every kind, then it rains a lot. Oh, and for whatever reason, there are 7 pairs of every kind of bird as well. Asexual organisms were just out of luck. Everyone else, except for his wife, 3 sons and their wives, dies a horrible death by drowning. Every alligator, kitten, kangaroo, centipede and parrot, not one of the lucky pairs on the boat, die a horrible death, as well. The boat was made of cypress and sits at exactly 450 feet long, 75 feet wide and 35 feet high, with 3 decks. Month 2, day 17, all the springs of the deep burst forth, and a giant door in the firmament opens, letting the rain fall down. Then, after every last polar bear, panda, and, according to some, allosaurus, were secure, God himself closes the door to the ark. It rains for 40 days. As the waters rise, the ark floats and rises with it. There was so much water, it covered even Mount Everest by about 20 feet, which would be around 30,000 feet of water on a global scale. For 150 days, the waters flooded the entire planet with 30,000 feet of water.
The waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth.
That should be long enough to kill everything real good.
The windows of heaven were stopped.
Now, thankfully, the all-knowing being suddenly remembered Noah. With a little wind, the waters began to recede. The springs in the deep were corked, and God closed the door in a glass firmament above the world. Month 7, day 17, the ark hits ground on the Ararat Mountains. Month 10, day 1, the tops of the mountains poke out from under the sea. Noah sent out a raven to look for a place to land, but it couldn't yet. So it kept flying around until the water finally dried up. Then he tried sending a dove, but it didn't have any luck either. After 7 days, he tried again and it returned with a fresh olive leaf. He waited another week and sent the dove again, which did not return. He waited another week. Month 1, day 1, Noah was now 601 years old. He removed the cover of the ark. Month 2, day 27, the earth was dry again, well, where it should be dry at least. Noah finally gets a message from God to leave the ark so that he and the animals can get a little frisky and multiply like bunnies in heat. In his excitement, Noah takes a few of the clean animals and birds and slits their throats on the altar he built as an offering of thanks. And you wondered what happened to the unicorn, manticore, mermaid, and chupacabra. There you go, they were a sacrifice.
God was beside himself with that pleasing aroma of the fresh butchery. The pleasing smells of the burning flesh and sounds of the gushing blood made God promise himself he would never do that again. Despite that, he even knew every child is evil from birth. With a decree that every animal and fish is now property of man to eat and do with as man pleases, he makes another. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God has God made man. God makes the covenant and promises that there will never again be a flood to destroy the world. Then God says that the rainbow will be the sign of the covenant. Now the story goes on to the incestuous acts which populated the rest of the world.
I think what the Noah's Ark stands for is love, care, peace, and a family together.
Okay, that is pretty much it. Here are the facts according to that story. Noah was 600 years old before the flood. The ark was 450 by 75 by 45 feet, with 3 levels. It rained for 40 days. The 30,000 feet of water remains constant for 150 days.
The tops of the mountains were visible after 8 months. The entire planet was flooded for 1 year and 10 days total. Some of the clean animals and birds were sacrificed as burnt offerings. Only 8 humans survived. All 4 males were from the same immediate family.
Proponent, Christian Creationist. Speculation. There were anywhere from 16,000 to 50,000 animals on the Ark. Some say their math shows only 30% or so of the Ark's space being used, leaving the rest for supplies. Carnivores might have chosen a vegetarian lifestyle to cope with food issues. Animals might have all developed and shared hibernation techniques to deal with a long period of time in a boat. To account for insects and snails, they could have floated on driftwood. There was one supercontinent before the flood, which explains how all the animals got to the Ark.
Rising magma temperatures boiled away a significant amount of the ocean, which later provided the rain. After the flood, the supercontinent broke apart and separated, carrying the animals to their new and distant homes, also pushing up mountains all over the world. The Grand Canyon could have been made in a week, or a few days, or 5 minutes. The Ice Age was after the flood. Dinosaurs were on the Ark because Genesis says all land animals boarded the boat, and this includes them as well. Dinosaurs might have been carried as eggs or very young, not necessarily fully grown. Variation in humans, like different skin color or skeletal structure, is a result of one of Noah's sons being cursed by Noah himself.